We're live. Welcome, everybody. Let's give it a few seconds and let some more people join us. As you're joining, folks, start hitting those hearts. Start sharing this, because we have breaking news and we have an incredible special guest here. Not only my dear friend, my lawyer, but somebody that knows everything that when it comes to situations, especially when it comes to certain people in the Trump administration, because he's from Florida. So he's from Palm Beach. He knows these people very well. Hey, Mary, Ali, everybody. Dave Aronberg. Welcome, Dave. I want, first of all, before we even start, Dave Aronberg just joined Substack. I want everybody to know he's been on here maybe a week or so.
No, longer than that.
Yeah, but you've been on here, but you weren't on here until me and you really spoke, and I said we need you here at this community. We need people like Dave Aronberg here, giving the truth, not scared to stand up to him. So Dave is on Substack. I want our community out there. First of all, go hit that button up there and make sure everybody go follow Dave, subscribe. Remember, subscribing is for free, and the information is important. And for those of you that can support the paid subscribers, we do all kinds of fun stuff for. So make sure you subscribe to Dave Aronberg, and because we got a lot to go over. Because today, Dave, I thought it was going to be, like I said, one of those quiet Fridays, and all of a sudden, here we go. We have this Epstein dump. I know you were just on CNN and MSN. I'm sorry, you're all over the place. Give us, Amy. Thank you. You got Amy that just subscribed, Dave. So you got.
Thank you, Amy.
Absolutely. Give us the scoop. What's going on? What is this thing? No.
Thank you, Lev. It's great to be here with you, my friend and client. Also, I did start a Substack, and I post every day. I've got new videos every day, and it's all free. My stuff is free, and we're building it up. So thank you for your support. Thank you, Amy, and all those who are subscribing. Dave Aronberg. I call myself the Florida lawman, not Florida man, because that would be a different connotation. I'm not Matt Gaetz. I'm Lawman.
I was gonna say, we don't want that Matt Gaetz. We've had fun with Matt Gaetz, but no, this is the real Florida.
Yes. No, Florida lawman, please. And speaking of a Florida lawman, speaking of a Florida man, Jeffrey Epstein was a Florida man. Jeffrey Epstein, who was well connected on Palm Beach to a lot of high-profile individuals we saw in the pictures that came out today. And now this all goes back to the Trump administration, Donald Trump in particular, his failing to release the Epstein files. So you have this drip, and it becomes just this lingering story that keeps just hounding Trump. It's like a albatross around his neck. He just can't get rid of it. Well, the way to get rid of it is full transparency, release the files. But apparently Trump, even if he's not guilty, and we have to be fair, there's nothing that's come out in the Epstein emails or files that we've seen that is evidence of his guilt, but he's acting guilty. I mean, why keep hiding this stuff? I mean, this is something that we all know, that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He can't rewrite history. The question is, who are the co-conspirators in this sex trafficking ring? Because we know there are. And even though there's no specific Epstein list, like the conspiracy theorists had told us, we know there's an Epstein file, and it does contain the names of individuals who were taking part in these criminal activities. Pictures are one thing. It just shows he was friends with big ballers like Bill Clinton and Larry Summers and Trump. But Trump is the president. He has the power to release the documents. He doesn't have to wait for any legislation to pass. He can do it today if he wants to.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. And Dave, as we spoke, sometimes we speak off the, not on here on Substack. And as we say, there's lots of reasons why Donald Trump doesn't want those files released. A lot of people concentrate because the most sick and disgusting part about the whole thing is the pedophilia, the child trafficking, the women, all of this type of stuff. But there's a lot more with these powerful people, and it goes back, like it or not, all roads lead back to Putin. all roads lead back to the Kremlin. The information, some of the stuff that my sources are reporting to me that inside Trump world that he's tremendously worried about is the connections that were around him, Dave, that were leading and giving information, some willingly, like Epstein. We see some in some of the emails where he's talking about his relationship with Viktor Churkin, who was the ambassador of Russia to the United Nations, telling him, listen, in an email that I've given them enough information to take Trump down. We have emails of Bannon, well, not Bannon, but actual, where Epstein speaking with his brother Mark, making fun with that meme about Bubba, but in that same Epstein, and that's what the media was concentrating. But in the same email, they're also talking about asking each other, did Bannon hand over the information to the Russians, to Putin? Then you see, even in this latest picture dump, you see how close Bannon was associated with Epstein. And I know this is only 19 out of 95,000, I think, pictures. And, I think there's some questions some of our subscribers wanted to, I'm glad we have you here, because one of the biggest questions everybody's asking, and I was trying to compare it to my own legal case, but even I couldn't, so tell us this, Dave. So these are all the information, stuff coming from his estate. But at some point, there was a criminal investigation. The FBI raided his houses, took a lot of stuff, just like they did to me and everything like that. And so they would have stuff that he doesn't have unless he had a copy of it or unless he had a digital copy of it. Otherwise, like if they took pictures, like if these are hard pictures we're seeing right now that were left by the FBI, that means that they would have taken stuff even more criminal. I mean, give us an idea of what we're seeing compared to what the DOJ has, because that's the biggest question I think we're trying to figure out.
There are thousands more documents in the Epstein files that the DOJ possesses than there are in the Epstein family, the Epstein estate stuff that is being turned over to the House committee. That's Comer's committee. The Democrats pushed for this subpoena to come out, and the subpoena went out because of the Democrats, and now the committee has all these documents, and the Democrats are releasing them piece by piece. It's a small portion of what's out there. We don't know how much overlap there is between the documents possessed by the committee and the documents possessed by DOJ, because the DOJ documents are secret and they are not revealing all the documents. They have released some of the Epstein files, but they're very careful to release only documents that have nothing to do with Donald Trump. The Epstein files contain things like that birthday card, the birthday card that Trump wrote to Epstein with the naked picture and has signed it. Trump signed it.
Yep.
That Trump says is a hoax, but we know it's not a hoax, because if it were a hoax, if it was not in the Epstein files, then the head of the FBI, the attorney general, would come out and say, it's not in there. They've never said that, so it's in there. So that's why you need to release the files, because the drip, drip, drip will continue. And if you release the files, then these pictures wouldn't be big news because the public would get what they want. But now we're like begging for scraps. It's like, whoa, we've got pictures. It's a big story. Whereas if you release everything, it's like, okay, we got it. And so pictures wouldn't be a big deal. So Trump is doing this to himself. He is stepping on a rake. He has totally mishandled this, which makes people believe that maybe there is some fire to the smoke. We don't know.
There's definitely fire to the smoke. This is one thing I could tell you, as people close to Susie Wiles, they're panicking about this also. This is one of the reasons why their strategy right now is to get him on the road, basically start campaigning, start doing rallies. Pennsylvania was the beginning. You're going to start hearing it here first, but you're going to start seeing him going out there and doing rallies, trying to unite the cult back, because there's tremendous, breakup. First of all, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, people don't understand to what degree, because she's really playing this cutesy role going on CNN, but behind the scenes, she's really trying to take away part of that major MAGA component. Because remember, MAGA was about this group of people that when we first attacked and went after together are the people that didn't vote, the people that stood quiet, primarily your uneducated, primarily your white nationalists, primarily America first. And this is why you see Marjorie Taylor Greene going on TV talking about Trump. She's hitting him in the low below the belt. That's why he called her a traitor. There's a reason, because these are things that the media is not picking up. But the reason why he called her a traitor is because she's hitting him. She told him not about even the Epstein. She called him. She said, "You're too worried about foreign policy, and you're not America first. You're not concentrated on America." And that's where the big breakup is happening between Tucker Carlson, between Candace Owen. You got Nick Fuentes. You got all of these different.
Oh, they are all those figures are vile individuals, and rampant anti-Semites. So and Marjorie Taylor Greene is just one of them. She is, yes, she may have found religion. I don't trust it, because she was the worst of all of them. And now, because she wants to be president, she's out there trying to, change her views. Supposedly, she still keeps the anti-Semitism as part of her repertoire. She's the Jewish space laser woman, remember, from the beginning, and now she's vile. Tucker Carlson, that's as bad as it gets. Maybe the only one worse is Candace Owens, who is
she is, and the crazy part, Dave. I remember, like, literally, I remember when Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, when I first met them. This was in 2000, and I think 17 or 2. This is like going back almost 7-8 years ago. I mean, they were very young. I mean, they're still. I mean, she's young still. I mean, they were very young. I remember, and she was nowhere near this. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know where the crazy. I mean, she was a totally different person when I first met her. Like, conservative rights, but somewhere she got so radicalized, and the vileness, the stuff that comes out, and the conspiracy theories, the stuff. I mean, it is. Maybe it's the social media stuff. Maybe it's
money. It's money.
It's money.
That's how you make money. It's not being a reasonable, thoughtful person on the internet. It's conspiracy theories. It's like watching a movie. Like, you got to have a cliffhanger. You got to keep, but the thing is, you got to keep ratcheting up the conspiracies, because people start tuning you out if you start backing away. So, now it's, that you go after Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, and say that she was behind the death of her own husband. And it just gets weirder and weirder. And it's like, the voters are not there. Yes, you'll get money that way. You'll get likes. But as far as winning elections, voters want normalcy. They don't want the party of weird. And those guys are really getting off the deep end. And especially when Trump gets up in Pennsylvania and mocks the concept of affordability. I mean, come on. I mean, that's not going to get you many votes when you can con people about other things. You could say the election was stolen, and there'll be people who believe you because they don't know, they don't have access to the data. But when it comes to telling people that prices are very affordable, the economy is great, people know. They know because they go to the supermarket. They know. You can't con people on that.
You're 100% right. I mean, he's and they're realizing that's why there's such panic in the White House right now, because they're seeing, they understand. See, Trump could go out there and talk the talk, say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, people that are really running the show, like Susie Wiles, people like Stephen Miller, Russell Vaughn, they understand. They see what's going on. They see that the numbers. They see that also, and what the biggest thing they see is the turnout and what transpired November 4th. They see what happened here in Miami. I mean, how big was that Miami? You're a Florida lawman. Tell us. I mean,
well, I'm from Miami. That was the first time in 30 years that a Democrat won the mayor's race. And what's the biggest thing about that? The biggest takeaway is that Dade County, where Miami sits, Miami-Dade County, has always been very blue. The city of Miami, less so. But also the county switched. It flipped red, pretty hard red, because of issues relating to socialism and immigration. You had Hispanic voters in Dade County who did not like illegal immigration. They're like, hey, we got here. We're here now. Let's close the door on all these illegals. Plus, they hate socialism because they come from like Venezuela, where you have a socialist dictator, or Cuba, where you have the Castros. So they said, okay, we're voting for Trump. He's anti-socialism, and he's going to keep us safe from the illegals who want to come here. Meanwhile, now they're looking over their shoulder, saying their cousins and their sisters are all getting deported. And they're like, wait a second, that's not what we bargained for. My friend, who's a hardworking person, he's not a criminal. Yeah, but he didn't have papers. So now they are flipping. Plus, when it comes to other issues like pocketbook issues, they're worried as well, just like the rest of us. And they don't believe Trump when he says affordability is not a problem. And then when it comes to socialism, they're looking at Trump in the White House and seeing Trump resembling the dictators that they fled from. So it's a perfect storm. And that's why I think that you saw what you did. Now, Florida, I don't think is in play yet for the presidential election or even the midterms to flip blue yet. But if every day that goes by, perhaps it it creeps towards becoming a swing state again. That would be huge. That would be a huge deal because Florida is the biggest electoral prize out there besides California and Texas, which are not swing states. So if we can put Florida in the swing state column again, Katie bar the door. It's like a new day.
I agree with you 100%. And those were I say these little things. Yes, it might have been a mayor's race of Florida, but just like you said, to have that in almost 30 years and not be to be able to flip that seat. These are little signs. These are major signs. I mean, just like what we saw on November 4th. But a lot of our subscribers are asking me to ask you, for instance, Dave, where were you when this was all happening? Were you just a lawyer? Were you a prosecutor? How did you see this whole Epstein thing play out? And in your vision, where do you see Acosta and all of this? Because I know he went and testified, but I mean, in my opinion, and a lot of the subscribers are saying he's a main key to a lot of the component that's going on besides Donald Trump. How is he getting off the hook so easy?
All right, let's talk about that. I'm glad you asked. So I was state attorney for Palm Beach County 6 years after the Epstein case was over. So it was 3 state attorneys before me. That was Barry Krischer. So you had Barry Krischer, and then you had the guy who succeeded Barry Krischer, and then he resigned, and then you had an intern, Pete Antonacci, and then me. So by the time I got to the state attorney's office in 2013, Epstein's non-prosecution deal was already 5-6 years old. So it was already over. Now, as far as what I've heard and what I know, this is the buzz. So you had the police chief of Palm Beach, a guy named Michael Ryder, who was seeing what was going on, and he helped take it to the state attorney's office. And back then, and the state attorney's office, in his view, dropped the ball. The state attorney's office went to a grand jury and came back with smaller charges than he would have liked. The state attorney's office people will say that, number one, back then in 2005, 2006, the state law was that if you were an underage girl who was having sex for money, in exchange for money, you were seen as a criminal, prostitute under the law. Now, nowadays, thankfully, the law has been changed. We understand that they are victims. They are not prostitutes. They're victims themselves. But back then, the law was different. And number two, you had a question of whether they were willing to go before the grand jury and testify. Were they willing to cooperate? So the prosecutor's saying we have cooperation issues. We have a law that's a problem. And so the end result was unsatisfying. Now, by the way, Michael Ryder and the police chief then would say there were girls who wanted to testify. You didn't put them on. And the state grand jury transcripts came back, and it didn't make the prosecutors look very good. But that is the explanation that came about. So while this was going on, Michael Ryder, the police chief, went to the feds and said, "Feds, I don't like what the state is doing. I need you to come in." And the feds did. And the U.S. Attorney's Office came in, and they took the case away, essentially. And they came up with a different deal. A deal was even worse. It seems to be like a real slap on the wrist because it required Epstein to plead guilty to state charges. Now, Lev, I don't know if you've ever seen this, where you have federal prosecutors come in and say, you will plead guilty not to federal charges, but state charges, and you will serve time in a state, local facility, county jail. Never heard of that.
No.
And then on top of that, they did not inform the victims of what was going on in violation of federal law. That was illegal. And then also, they entered into a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein that gave Epstein's conspirators, co-conspirators, there were 4 people mentioned, immunity. And here's the worst part. All unknown co-conspirators also got immunity. Ghislaine Maxwell's name was not in the agreement. She's an unknown co-conspirator. And then she said, see, I get immunity. I've never heard of that either, where you're giving future immunity, a get-out-of-jail-free card, to people you don't even know about. So that's really where people are like, the federal settlement here is even worse than the state wanted to do. And so that's the battle. So one last thing. So when Alex Acosta was accused of wrongdoing, when this all blew up, he then turned around and said, state prosecutors, it's their fault. They were going to do worst. We took it from them. We got a better resolution. Of course, the state prosecutor said, it's your fault. You took it from us. And what you did was the worst situation. So this is where it is.
So basically, I mean, Alex Acosta took over and the case and he's the one that did the deal. I mean, at the end of the day, it was Dershowitz pushed on it, right? I mean, it was Acosta that approved the deal for the feds and that allowed that even, I mean, concocted, came up with the situation to serve state and make a plea to state charges. I mean, Acosta had to approve the deal. That's the bottom line, correct?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you know, they could say the state could have done worse or less, but at the end of the day, Acosta's the one that approved the deal. The deal is crazy. The deal is weird. The deal makes no sense to any lawyer, right? I mean, I don't know. Can you make sense of why they would give a deal like that besides pure corruption in some way of either favoritism or look the other way? I mean, give us a crazy even. Why would somebody give him a deal like that?
I do not think it was pure corruption in that Alex Acosta did not take any money under the table. It was nothing like that. And how do I know that? It's because the Inspector General from the Department of Justice did a whole investigation, and they have a really good IG there, Horowitz, and they found that although mistakes were made, it was not corrupt. Like it was not there was nothing illegal that was done other than they violated the Victims Notification Act. But as far as taking money under the table or doing something that totally illegal, what happened, I think, was that Acosta had meetings with the prominent lawyers for Epstein, and they told him, you don't have a good case. We've been following these victims around. Here's some photographs of them, their social media site. Here's what they do. These are people you can't trust. We will destroy them on trial. And I think Acosta's like, wow, maybe they have a good argument. And he then made the decision to settle. And what was really questionable was that at the time this happened, there was a indictment drafted. Like it was like 50, 100 pages. It was a very lengthy indictment drafted by one of his assistants that was ready to go to the mat against Epstein. That was ready to take him down with serious charges. And Acosta, because of his conversations with these lawyers, apparently said, no, here's the deal. We're going to do it this way.
I'll give you my spin on it. Knowing some of these lawyers that were involved, knowing Acosta then joining the first administration of Trump, where I was heavily involved with, and Trump naming him to his administration at the time. When we say corruption, and this is a very important word, and I think this is important because corruption doesn't always come in dollars and cents. Corruption also comes in favoritism, giving a wink in the eye, or saying, just like we're seeing corruption play out in front of our eyes. Where you saw Judge Cannon, the way she treated Donald Trump and the way he talked about her. I mean, yes, can you say there's a law broken because somebody took money? No, but we obviously see that there's obviously corruption going on the way things are being handled, the way certain things are, even in the Supreme Court, even the way certain Supreme Court judges are being picked. I mean, we're seeing what we're seeing played out in front of our eyes, and what we saw play out there. Yes, he might have not taken money, but I truly believe that there was a lot more, because mistakes is one thing. This is more than was just mistakes. This was really planned, like even by using the law to threaten some of these victims, to prosecute them as prostitutes, and some of these girls were being threatened to do that. The fact that these high power lawyers spoke to Acosta. Remember, a lot of these people in these offices, not everybody is out there. You want them to, yes, be out there for the people, but some have political intentions. Just like even in my own prosecution, my case, I'm not going to mention names and everything, but a lot of those prosecutor ASUs that were on my case and Michael Cohen's case are now making 7-digit figure salaries because they touted using these. These are big, and they don't want to lose. That's just the way the system is set up. So I truly believe that there was pure corruption when it came to Acosta, because I don't believe deals like this. Yes, maybe a mistake, especially when you say there was already indictments ready to go hard
It's
against
ready to go.
ready to go. There had to be somebody strong enough to talk him out of it. And then the fact that he gets appointed literally in 2016 in Trump's cabinet, I think there was a lot of political pressure and favoritism being played there.
All right, Lev, I think you raised some good points. Were the prosecutors at the state and the federal level starry-eyed, perhaps, at the big names on Epstein's side? They had Dershowitz. They had a very prominent Jack Goldberger, who's a prominent
Roy Black,
down here. Roy Black, yeah, you had some big time people. Did they get started? That perhaps, but the question is, did he get something quid pro quo in exchange for it? I think the answer there is no. But when he did eventually, because he was in good graces in the circles. But it was Marco Rubio who recommended him to be Secretary of Labor. When he was appointed Secretary of Labor, it was 8 years after the settlement was completed. And that's why I don't know if it's hard to say 8 years later is quid pro quo.
No, because
but he did keep himself in the good graces of the elite, the higher ups.
And that's the key, because I live in that world, and that's the key, because sometimes you don't, especially what I realize when it comes to politics and when it comes to big money transactions and favoritism. Sometimes and I've met a lot of these congressmen that do these favors for some of their donors, and then they come ask later on for their favorite. But the important part that you said was he stayed in that circle, and staying in that circle of those same people, and he grew politically. He progressed. And and then sometimes it's not about just that. It's like if you break it all the way down, it's like a local beat cop could not stop another cop over and not give him a ticket and let him go as a way of is it criminal? Yes. Is it corruption? Yes. But to what level and how do you look at it? What I'm saying, did he take money? No, he just let him go. So I think yes, I think this was a political play. I think I think Epstein had a lot of cards, and not only Donald Trump, his relationship with the Clintons and everybody else. I think Dershowitz is an incredible lawyer, like him or not. I think Roy Black he had the best of the best lawyers that had the political contacts. And I've been in part of those conversations where they sat in there and just laid out the cards, and was it worth it for him or not? Again, and I think, and that's why I think there's a lot of keys that are laying with Acosta that I think we still, and that's why I'll give you an example. That's why I was so pissed off that they had him behind closed doors, and that's why I said that Comer is really covering up, and not, people are like, well, Comer's all, but he's trying to somehow hold us together. The fact that these leaks are coming out from the Democrats. Comer's trying to somehow, right, Dave? I mean, because just think about having it live in front of the people to see why Acosta did in the questioning.
Oh, well, Comer didn't want any of these documents to come out, but the Democrats, along with a couple of Republicans who went with the Democrats, voted to issue these subpoenas. And so you're not going to be able to cover this thing up entirely. I mean, not in the year 2025. Maybe if this were the last century, you could cover things up. But, Mark Twain once said that two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Right? So it's very hard, especially nowadays, with everyone having cameras and internet access and anonymizers to be able to communicate with the press to say, here's what's going on. And that's why I think it's an exercise in futility for Donald Trump to think that he's going to be able to keep this Epstein file secret forever. Here's what I predict is going to happen. And then I have to jump to my next meeting because I'm a practicing lawyer. But Lev, this is what I think is going to happen. Trump is not going to turn over anything within the Epstein files with his name on it, or that anything to do with looking bad. And he can use a few exceptions in that law. Number one, an ongoing criminal investigation. They started one in New York on Democrats, which is ridiculous. Number two, he could say that, well, only unclassified documents have to be released. I have classified all these documents in my mind. And number three, right? He's gonna right. There you go. Right. And number three, national security. There's a national security exception in the law. The law should have been written more tightly. It should have been written. They shouldn't have put national security exemption. Shouldn't have put the unclassified requirement. And they should have just said, no, everything's got to be released except for victim information. And if you don't want to release, take it to the court and let the court decide. So this is going to delay things, but you know what that means? When you delay things, you're going to have this drip, drip, drip come out, and it's going to continue to hover over Trump like what's the sword of Damocles. That's what he has facing him until the files get released.
Dave, I couldn't agree with you more. I want to first of all thank you. It was our first, I think, Substack me and you did together. First of many, many more to come. We have close to 1,000 people watching right now. I want to make sure that everybody go out there. Welcome Dave Aronberg to the Substack family. He's part of our, movement. He's part of the, the community, and he has a lot of insight because, like he said, he's the Florida lawman. He's been here. He knows the players. He knows all the people involved, and he has some incredible contact. He's always busy on all over television. So make sure to subscribe to him here because he's going to be now part of our Substack family, bringing you information that you're not going to get anywhere else. So make sure to support Dave. Dave, thanks for coming, and I'll give you a call later. I know we have lots to talk about. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lev. Great to be with you, and to your audience, thank you for having me today.
Take care, my brother.
Take care.
Folks, crazy day. We have a lot going on. We just got off we did a breaking news live. For those of you, I don't know if you were able to see it, with Zev Shalev. If you haven't yet, I'm going to be putting it out. Make sure you go watch it. It was a lot of breaking stuff having to do with this latest Epstein picture drop. A lot going on. There's more to come. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I've been on the phone with some of my sources, and get ready, folks. It's going to be one of those weekends. A lot to. I definitely want to make sure you guys want to be stay tuned tomorrow for Coffee and Tea with Dean and Lev. It's going to be a lot of stuff to go over, and a lot of good stuff happening, because the most important thing is Trump is on his heels. Remember, folks, smash those hearts. Keep telling it, because remember what I told you. The most important thing was we need to be there on the offense. Remember that day, November 4th, when we came out there and when the people stood up. And ever since November 4th, Trump has been on his heels. We've been pushing him every day. And it's people like each and every one of you. You're part of this. You're part of the extension of our voices, my voice. And I want to say God bless each and every one of you. I know who you are. We're going to take this, folks. It's getting better and better. But we can't let our excitement and to let us stop for even 1 second. This is when we push harder. This is when we push stronger. This is when we make our voices heard louder. Even during the holidays, we'll have our time to take off. We'll have our time to spend. But this is when we do not give up for a second, because trust me, they're not going to go down easy. But we have planned. Also, quick update: we've broken $60,000 on the GoFundMe. We gotta keep going. We need to reach 150,000 for phase 1. You guys are doing an incredible job. Keep contributing, keep spreading the word, keep letting everybody know so we could go hire this group. And also, for the volunteers, we have over, I think, 70 volunteers already and growing strong. Those of you that please sign up, that want to volunteer, that want to be part of our movement, please sign up to Lev at pttp .proton.me. That's our volunteer email hotline. And definitely, I see Cheech. God bless you, my brother is back. Make sure to help out Ukraine. I will be this weekend, actually. Alexander just got back. He's getting some rest. He spent the past 4 days. He's been in Dnipropetrovsk. He's been sending me videos and pictures of all the stuff they did. Also, we've co-sponsored Voice from Ukraine. I don't know if I told you, we've co-sponsored IDP Center. This is one of those centers that allow, Zelle goes towards the 150. Zelle, Venmo, all of these things we're collecting. So continue donating to each and every one of you that can, because it's all part will go towards the kitty to be able to help out, to be able to hire. So, Alexander, this weekend I'm going to be putting together a Substack letter with a lot of videos and pictures to show you all the incredible stuff your help and your contributions are doing, so you could share, so you could keep for yourselves. Also, Alexander is going to try to join us tomorrow with Dean and what's it called? Coffee Time, Lev and Coffee with Dean and Lev. So everybody that wants to join, also make sure paid subscribers could come up, ask questions, also come up live. For those of you that want to come up tomorrow, some of you we missed last week, please DM me or go set up in our chat. You guys could set up a chat for the paid subscribers in our chat and put in there any questions. If you don't want to come up and you want to have some questions you want me to answer, or if you do want to come up, please put your name so we could put you in the queue. I want to try to get it tomorrow. I know we have a lot to update, but I want to really try to get as many of you up as possible tomorrow and let you interact, because we have a lot of good stuff happening, and we also have a lot of information, that's happening with Ukraine and Russia that I'll be breaking. But right now, we have the Epstein dump with the pictures, and we have more. I've spoken to some people in Congress. What we're seeing now is nothing, tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more to come with 95,000, and there's some really, really, really important pictures that we're going to see. Also, very important, I want everybody to know, our platform is not about right. It's not about left. It's not about Democrats. It's not about Republicans. We're here for the survivors. We're here for the victims. We're here for the Ukrainian people. We're here for the voices that cannot be heard, the children that are out there being taken away from their parents and being sent to Korean camps. We're here to speak truth to power. We're here not to talk about policy. One day, maybe we will. But today, we're here. Our mission is to save our democracy, to get back what we are. And we are going to action, folks. Come January, February, you're going to see there's going to be a different Substack, different everything, because we're going to get our country back. And just want to thank each and every one of you. It's Friday. TGIF, lots going on. Weekend's going to be insane. So I recommend each and every one of you today, if you can, go and become a paid subscriber, because this weekend we're going to do a lot of paid subscriber stuff to get you informed, and so you could be part of the conversation. Also, great way to support us. Two, if you can, continue contribute to the GoFundMe or the other various ways like a PayPal, Venmo, Zelle. Any way you can support our mission to be able to, so we could get phase 1 done. For all of you there that are helping out Ukraine, I'll be putting this weekend is going to be important. I'll send you all the information. We're almost close to getting our second goal met in Ukraine, to be able to get all of the presents because Alexander has some incredible stuff set up. Cheech, put the GoFundMe up. Thank you so much, my brother. We're gonna do some special stuff this holidays because it's not only about trying to win this war. It's also about trying to give for the holidays. A lot of these people are displaced. Kids don't have families. We want to give them as much as we can, love, support. So we're gonna do that also. And like I said, oh, you know what? I got it here. Sorry, I almost forgot. This, if you want to give anybody a present, this is what I would do for the holidays. This is basically a blueprint of what Donald Trump and they don't want you to see. And not because I wrote it, because I lived it. This is a diagram, and I recommend you guys go levremembers.com. It's a great way. Also, A, you're supporting the platform, but B, you're gonna get some information that nobody in the media is talking about, and it'll help you connect the dots. So, with that said, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be coming live later on because there's breaking news happening all day. I'm on the phones with my sources. Stay tuned to the letters. And tomorrow, if I don't see you today, I will definitely see you tomorrow, Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern. Coffee and tea with Lev and Dean. Make sure to be subscribed, not to miss it. And if you want to be part of the team and come up and join, become a paid subscriber. And if you can, guys, set up a chat in the chat room, any one of you. So this way, in the chat room, we could put a queue of who wants to come up, who wants to ask questions. It'll help out a lot because I know there's sometimes we get into a lot. Time goes quickly, and I want to make sure that I get as many of you up there as possible. So, guys, I love you. Keep supporting Ukraine. Keep supporting our democracy. Keep spreading the word. I want the one thing I want to tell you: God is good. Things are happening. I have a smile on my face because I'm very optimistic because I know them well. I've been on the phones with my sources, and I could tell you the best thing I could tell you today is Trump is having a terrible day. He's having a terrible week. Their whole administration is in shambles right now. MAGA is being ripped apart into pieces, and we are going to go in there and kick the final pieces, knock that door down, and take him apart piece by piece. I promise you that. If it's the last thing I do. So God bless each and every one of you and keep fighting the fight. And remember, Lev remembers. Thank you.